Hey there, I am JP, and for today we are going to work onto these empty areas right down here. We're going to add in a rival village from our village. We're going to connect the highway up with this highway down here. We're going to connect a bridge to this island and also prepare for our big future city. Now, in the last episode, just before my voice and my screen was fading out, I was saying we need some more job area, and then I was speaking about this area down here. I'm going to show you this in a minute, because first of all, I was saying also in the last episode, I'm going to need to empty out this graveyard which was placed down here, and then I forgot that I got the Move It mod, and with the Move It mod you can just pick up this building and just place it elsewhere. So in this case I did. There's a spot left for a crematorium, and or I've added some more houses so we can work towards our goal. And I've done the same thing with the garbage pile. You don't have to wait for emptying it because we had it down here and we had some down here. So I just, I thought let's use the Move It mod. Now, one thing I do want to say about the Move It mod, maybe it's logic, but easy to forget when you play around with it the first time. I just basically picked up the same model with the roads also, which was down here, and then I forgot it would be the best if I want to move these three roads that connect the road between in, because if you don't, it starts glitching out. So just a little tip there. Alright, so let's just go to this area and just show you off what I've been doing. Also, I've been adding some more of this dirt type of deal between in the highway down here. For some reason I like it. I don't know what it is. Maybe because it's refreshing, it looks like it's new, just been built. We can just act like this is some kind of a special stuff that doesn't allow plants to grow, so I don't have to maintenance a lot, and or if vehicles crash or go off or whatever, they're just slowly getting stopped. It's just basically like what you see in some races in corners. They have like these little stones laying near the track, so when they get in there they get slowed down and that kind of stuff. Now, I said this road is like an old road and they built a highway near it. They don't want to get rid of this road, and it's also because you cannot connect all the houses to a highway. That is just weird. Not gonna work out. And then I've been explaining this is an old road that was back in the days going to this area. So I decided, why not just add a bit of a dirt road down here that's, is from back in the days, that goes along here, and then there was like a bridge. Now in this case I don't have like a broken down bridge, so just took an old pier, I moved it to the water, then I got the Move It mod, and I tried to connect it as close as possible to the road. Now also this road was back in the days being used for the forest area, which there were a couple of lumber companies here, and this road was also going that way. So I thought let's just connect it up, drop some dirt down because people are nasty, some logs down here. Later on elsewhere we're going to make some more forest industry right down here, and then I can make use of the RICO mod. Down here I was like, let's place a couple of houses. These people live near the water, they have a nice view. I see onto these wind turbines which will be moved later on, and a little one down here with some parking spots at the start down here. Yeah, I like it. Some more trees down here. This will slowly but surely be token with what we are going to do for today, which let's just start off with that. Alright, so the target here is to connect this road up to the island, and what we're going to do is take care that the highway is going at the side of the water rather than going in the middle of the city, right? And one thing that I would like to do in the future is take one more tile, because I want to make a little bit of a bigger city down here, and then any other tiles is going to be like right down here, maybe one extra so we can connect the highway here too and make like a bridge going that way. You just have to see, so we need to keep things in mind. And the first thing that I also would like to check is the connection for like cruise ships. I think it would be nice for the cruise ship to go in here, so we have a little bit of traffic going on, and then maybe we can make like a very nice, like a bay area down here where it connects up, which I think it's gonna be handy to let the highway go that way. Have some on and off ramps. Later on it will be multiply. Now the only thing I'm going to need to know is how much is the width of this highway, because I first would like to make the bridge and later on connect stuff up, or else I'm going to already lay down the road and I'm not really sure what it is going to be. If that makes any sense. Let me see, can I grid this up? Yes. Will this be fine? And then in this case, you're just going to this sample right down here. I'm going to have a space of 2 blocks between them. It will be just like that. Then we know that we can start making a bridge and then work forwards to it, because we're going to need to make the rival village and we need to make another part of a highway. I think this would be nice to go to the opposite side there. They first go up and then move about. That might be a nice thing to write down here. So this says I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of a highway, which, what you say, right down here and then right down there. Let's remove that, and then from this point on we go up. So first go up, and I'm gonna make it stretch out and make it a ramp large as possible. So it looks better. And then now we can make, you know, a pillar at least right down there. And in this case, we're going to keep in mind it goes down again. And this is not something that I would like. Let me just see here. Can I look at it and then raise it up? That's a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to connect this one up as well. And then I'm just going to use the move it mod. Because the move it mod gives you more flexibility like that, so make it straight as possible. And now disconnect up a bridge until, let's just do it here. That's wrong. Let me just do this the other way around. I want the bridge to be the same, to say. So in this case I have to make it until there. Yeah, so now it is aimed out, which is fantastic. I'm just trying to aim this out. I think it needs to go one touch up. This kind of does the job. So it looks, you know, more prettier like that. It's fantastic. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's here. Yeah, it's the same. You need to be careful with that, or else the bridge looks very out of place near each other. You know what? Let's just do this later on, because we first need to fill in this area anyways, and I can always do a little bit off-camera work, and then I can just really take my time with this. Now, one thing I am going to need to do for now is, my apologies, but I'm going to need to disconnect this road from the highway, and also this and that. Take care that this is going. I have also added some more trees in here to make it more dense, so that's also very nice. And I have been saying that it would be nice if the highway goes underground, underneath the city, and it would be so fantastic to have an on and off ramp coming from underneath the ground, right? Maybe some kind of a roundabout thing going on. Not just a normal roundabout, but a city roundabout. There we go, so they can just, you know, rotate there without me interrupting. Turn around would be better than rotating. There we go. It's getting hot this week, so my brain will be cooked and then saying all kinds of weird stuff. Alright, so let's just connect this up to there. So maybe we need to reverse the highway, maybe not. And then what we can do is, yeah, that's not gonna work. Like, how can we do this, right? I guess we need to aim something out. Yeah, what would be ideal if we have like an anchor point to know where we need to do this, also with this guy, and then another anchor point that way. Okay, I have a different idea. I'm just gonna try some things. I haven't really been doing too much of this roading stuff. And I'm just gonna connect it up like that. Yeah, the reason why it says space already occupied is because I'm using underground power lines. I believe I saw it already right down here, so I'm going to move this. Ooh, let me just move it up here. And we don't want to, yeah, disconnect everything. So, okay, what I will do now is disconnect these two, connect these two, and then we can create like a flow that way, I guess. And then we can do the same here. On that one, and that one. This will be the only straight piece which we're going to need if we want to connect the other part of the highway up to this guy. Make it a little bit more easier, I would say. Now let's see if this is going to work out. I guess I can take this guy. It's a little too far. Now, let's just do that. Yeah, okay, there we go. This is what I think would be more handier. Get more of a nice corner that way. Wow. Oh, yeah, you cannot do that. Apparently you cannot, you know, put a dirt road underneath the ground. Logic, maybe not. And I want to maximize it out. I want it to be tight as possible. Because, you know, it all costs money and whatnot. You like this as tight as possible? I guess that could do, right? This is a nice long road like that. And then from here on, you know, other stuff will happen. It is the next day for me. I've been doing a little bit of camera work to just give a boost to this episode. It's just some roads, some trees, and a couple of companies that I've been placing. Nothing more interesting. Now I will just explain you what I've been doing here and why I have been doing it here. So in this case, you can see that this 3-laner is going into a 2-laner, which I downloaded a mod for that. It's also in the description. And then a 1-laner is gonna go here. A 2-laner is coming out here. This is actually a 3-laner underneath the road. But in order to connect things up a little bit nice, I had to make a 2-laner going into 1-laner right down here. And a 1-laner to go right down there. That works the best. You can just simply connect up all of the bits and pieces if you like to. And then down here is gonna go the off-ramp for the highway down here. So let me just show you what is happening underneath the ground. That would be the best too. So right down here, this is what I have. The way how I've been thinking about this is the way how traffic would flow. The most traffic that goes to the city would either come here and then go on this highway, or will come here and go with this highway. So this is a 2-laner that goes into, I believe, a 1-laner here. And because here is also a 2-laner, we need to make it look nice into a 3-laner, right? Making a 3-laner into a 3-laner with this 3-laner is just doesn't look nice. And I believe in City Skylines 2, they made this even look better. Because I believe you can just perfectly connect up one piece of a lane per time. So you can just connect it perfectly up here and then maintain the same line at the side, because right now you can see it is, I don't like this. This is not good, right? This road needs to be moved up to the more to the middle side down here rather than being here in the middle. So I believe in City Skylines 2 they made such a system that it also looks very nice. And the thing is, the reason why there is a lot of 1-laners gonna go to that way from this way is because no one is gonna go through this city village via here. They're gonna go all the way around here and then gonna go here, right? They're gonna go like that, then in here. It is also the other way around. They're not gonna go like this all the way to there. They're gonna go like this. So if I had to make a choice which one would be the 1-laners, then it would be everything going from this side towards that side. Anything else would be mostly 2-laners except for this guy right down here. Now the only way why there is a 1-laner here is just to make it match up a little bit nicer. I wish there was a highway, and probably I can download that stuff. You know, we have like 4-laner highways, then I could add 2 and 2. But then I'm like, you know, I need to change a lot into 4-laners because yeah, that's just the way how it is. Now, of course, down here, I make this off-road to this lumber factory. And what I also have been doing is making this into its own district. And this its own district has a couple of policy because it doesn't cost a lot. So smoke detector, you know, because a lot of forest, park and recreation is because there is like a secret park in here. And of course, the one most important is heavy traffic ban. Because I am afraid that the heavy traffic that needs to go here might sometimes go through this place in order to get to the highway right down here and the other way around. So I just want to prevent that, and as you can see, they just go around. This guy came from this lane. You know, give these people some rest. And I just placed some more houses on the opposite side. Just take it easy area. It was kind of funny they called it Lake District. Well, there's a river. So that is that. Right down here, I've been continuing this road. And this road, back in the day, was an older road that went around here. Because, you know, we need to fill in the area. It was like a farmhouse here that had like a farm. He didn't want to sell the ground. So the road was going around instead of, you know, going through. So that's the whole idea behind it. Some more lumber. I'm just going to take it easy with this area. And yeah, this is how it is going to be for this area right down here. Later on, I have been saying these people want to keep the traditional of having like dirt roads. Because, you know, that's our beautiful town. We want to keep things old. We don't always have to make new stuff. But I think that I would like to make this road until here somewhere going into asphalt road. And then only when you get into the town, it's going to go into, you know, dirt to say. Just to speed up the progress on this side down here. I'm going to make something nice out of that. And now what I would like to do is start onto the rifle village slash town. Because I think it will be a little bit bigger, a little bit more modernized and stuff like that. It's going to be a bit of a challenge though. Now also to modernize it, I want to have the short look nice. Already placed this guy here. I've been doing a little bit of experimenting with it. If it's about, you know, trying to place a road. And I'm like, why is there a gap? Can I not just perfectly connect it up? There is a reason why it doesn't do that, because this, whatchamacallit, a quay. The quay does something special to the ground. It makes it go straight up underneath and then just straight out there. That is what I think that happens. And if you would place like a road along there, but the game sometimes doesn't know what to do with it, and then it's going to look funky. And that's, yeah, like that. You see like this weird gap in there. That's why I think the game doesn't allow, the devs decided, like, you know, give it a bit more space. And apparently you can also connect up pathways to it, but not like directly. Which I basically mean needs to be something like that, right? You need a bit of space. And then you could do something like this. Yeah, and then you see it connects it up. Now, of course, it needs to be straight, but it's just to demonstrate what I meant. Alright, now first things first. It's not very a usual thing to just, you know, aim out of the ground, make it too flat. I do want to smoothen it out just a little bit. I'm going to make the brush very big, and I'm going to put it soft as possible. And just smooth the thing out just a tiny bit. And of course, if a village is there for a very long time, the ground isn't smooth out at all. Just going to do it just a tiny bit so the rough edges are off. And yes, of course, near the shore, they could have been working on it like, hey, we're going to renovate the area. Let's just make it all look aimed out because, you know, as the Dutch are with water, it's, you know, the Dutch know it's very important to maintain the water, maintain the shores and that kind of stuff, because the half of the country, a little bit more than half, is like below sea level. But it's very important to spend a lot of time on this rather than that. If it goes wrong, then this is going to be very troublesome later on. Oh man, I'm really having bad luck. Before I actually closed the game, I thought I saved the game. I've been making a whole area down here, and apparently I didn't save it well, and I had to redo everything. But this is for now what I have for our rival town, and it's all going to be about, these guys only care about money. They want to, you know, get high buildings, they want to get expensive buildings, they do not really care about traffic. They want to buy this forest in order to make more commercial building, and it's an absolute mess. Now the thing is, as you can see, I'm running out of money and it's not going to go very well. so I don't have any cash to make on and off ramps. Somewhere in here I gladly did finish off the highway. If I can see, can I get underneath? Yes. So I did finish the highway up. That is at least positive, and I'm really going to need to boost up my progress here because things are about to go terribly wrong. This thing is full. I just dropped down a couple down here. The point here is I'm going to need to get this guy at first. Then one problem is solved. The second problem I'm having is that I'm going to need to have 12,000 people in order to get this guy, in order to solve all of the dead space that I'm now going to fill in, because yeah, it's gonna be one hell of a thing. So the only thing that I really can do is just, you know, start boosting up my game. So what I will do right now is I will start filling in the blank and just see how it goes. And if you're wondering like, what the heck is this mess down here? Well, I just want to create like a square. And in the square, people are just, you know, walking. Can I get rid of that? Yeah, there we go. I want people to, you know, walk all over the place. I don't want to see the pathways and that kind of stuff. I want to see later on if I can create just a pathway in here so also people will start walking here. But there's going to be a lot of commercial, a lot of, you know, I want to try and see if I can cram in some of the higher commercial once it's available with the stuff that I'm going to get sooner or later, which are these guys. And just see if I can get it back out of trouble, because I also have to take one loan. So alright, just a small between in update. It's not looking pretty, but I just have to deal with it for now. I actually managed to get the next level of Big Town. I'm now aiming towards this one and actually past that one towards this one. The best thing about this is that at this moment I have the university place, which is right down here. I got some of these high residential zones, that's it's called. It is okay, very good. So this area for now is what it is, and I've also started to place down some high residential and starting to get commercial in here. It's slowly but surely gonna go well. This guy here is now one of its first of the kind, and I'm going to have a couple more on a row and then slowly but surely, you know, empty these guys out. I just need a little more cash, a little bit more stabilities, but yeah, I might just have another cut which I'm gonna get here, I hope. You know, it goes well, it goes wrong. I remember at, I believe, the second or third episode, I was like getting into money trouble. Now the thing is, right now I need more job, and this office space down here that I just dumped down real quick is already getting full, or it is full to the max. I'm going to do something else. Now I have two options, or I can do something down here and start ruining it, which I absolutely don't want to do. And by the way, I bought this piece of land already. And then I was like, of course I still have some land around here left, which I can just change into farmland. So let me just do that real quick. I don't know why I have to laugh, but it is the next day for me. It is a lot more chiller. The weather is cooled down, so a new day, a new start of this episode that is already going. Anyways, as you can see, I've been doing a ton of stuff yesterday. At some point I was, you know, getting tired of it because the weather started to become hotter and hotter. So that's why I'm very glad for today. So let's just show off what I have been doing. It's crazy. So down here you might see that this doesn't look like an old village anymore. That's because the greedy companies want to have as much as people as possible, also as much as parking lots as possible. The only thing they cannot get rid of is of course the church, the graveyard, because that is holy, so that will stay. The people are here wandering about left and right. Now the one thing I've also been doing is I made like a on-ramp on from the highway, so that goes right down here, and I've been making the off ramp which goes towards the highway right down in here and underneath the ground. So let me just quickly show you off like that, right? That's the only thing that I'm going to do for right now. I'm not planning on to make an on and off ramp from the other side just yet. Just have to see how things go, how the city will go, or this village that got out of control. that went out of control, I want to say, because people here are getting sick. That's because of these commercial buildings. That it's a very bad idea to have high residential and high commercial near each other. Man, I just need to warm up. The best thing about this is that here I have been making this old factory that is slowly but surely falling apart, and slowly but surely bits and pieces are getting bought from the evil town corporation because they want to expand more and more and more. As you can see right down here, there is still like the fence, and the fence all of a sudden stops here, and that is because they already start buying parts of the grounds for like millions and millions, because right down here the fence is actually chopped off from this angle right down here. So they already bought this. Slowly but surely it's falling apart anyways. Down here there's still a part of the old road. I thought it would be very cool to still have that in there, because everything you see right down here is still of this corporation. And this corporation is not ours, but this corporation down here, the new one, is a company of the corporation of this town down here, and this is way more modern, more optimized than this one. So that's why this one is slowly but surely, you know, starting to break down. It's really bad, but just place it like trash and high grass and whatnot all over the place. And yeah, I like this idea of leaving such a thing in here. It's really cool. The city is just slowly swallowing everything up. And right down here there is like this farmland. This is from this guy right down here. Well, it's not much of a guy, but maybe I'll just change some stuff now. I have a fresh day with RICO mods, just make it look a little bit nicer. But this has a district which is called the Dam, and the Dam district is basically this down here. This is the last thing that holds the city from swallowing stuff on this side of the road. It's a whole thing going on with this down here. We just give you another look from above onto this beautiful area. I like to wanting to make more of this kind of stuff, you know, spend some really good time on this kind of areas. And I mean, I didn't have much at the beginning, and I'm also playing with money turned on, so sometimes I'm getting like pressurized and I need to push to dump stuff like this down here. I mean, this will be changed later on. This will be changed. I also got enough of these facilities now, so I'm just slowly but surely emptying this stuff out. That this down here will just stay as it is. I'm quite happy with the progress down here. This is like my third chance of setting something up. Of course, this was my very first chance. Then I had like a small village, which was my second chance, which I eventually moved up to this area. You know, you can clearly see the difference of like just installing mods and installing some more mods and taking my time. I mean, it's going to be fantastic because in the next episode we are going to work on the big city, and I really would like to spend some good amount of time, just enough beats that I can, you know, maintain this down here. I just need 2,000 or less than 2,000 more people, so the pressure is, you know, released and finally can enjoy it. And that is just a matter of, you know, maintaining stuff. I will just show you this area in a second. Not too much special, but down here I've also been making another district because there is one thing I haven't really kept myself busy with in City Skylines, and this becomes a giant thing in City Skylines 2 if you're interested in it, and that's micromanagement, like district, taxes, policies. And I never really done something. I mean, there's all of this stuff, and I was always thinking like, oh, you need to, you know, it will say here somewhere, you know, it always costs money, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you get money from it. So I do believe I have this guy, which is this. So small business stuff, low density commercial buildings, double the sales, upkeep $2 per building. So when I pressed this, immediately it went from 1.5 to 2.5. So sometimes this can increase up. And now I want to keep this in mind for the big city though, because I also have extra taxes. And extra taxes can be implemented once the land value is good. In this case, the land value, I didn't always spend like too much time on it. You could say land value is, let me just do it like that. Land value is okay around here. You see some green popping up, but the better it is, the more you can ask from it. And this is something that I need to keep in mind, and can also increase my money, right? And there is also something that, yeah, for example, this stuff. Turn homes into muscular smart homes to raise the land value. So once you raise the land value, you can also ask more. So this will cost me money, but once I have done this, I can increase the tax, which will give me money. So it's like I spent 2,000, but in the end I'm getting like 4,000 back. And don't base it on $4 you see there, but just for example, you need to spend money to gain money. This is something to keep in mind. Tolls I want to do, because I've also been reading like this. Like for example, we don't want to charge this neighborhood for a toll. We only want to charge the people that pass through, and this should take care that these people don't have to pay for it because they live here. We only want to charge people with a toll that goes through it. We also have Industry 4.0, which increase production, reduces workplaces. And I need to get more into that, because City Skylines 2 is going to have a big micromanagement type of deal if you are interested in it. And it's a lot of fun. You can get like extra bucks out of it. It's not like if you don't do that, it's impossible to play. It just, you know, boosts up your money. You don't have to worry about it. And it can be a lot of fun, like production chains and whatnot. Right, this one is almost empty. So in this case, yeah, I wanted to show off this area. There are like factories down here. These are like old lands from farmers that had a little bit of livestock to say, and they stopped with the livestock. They did something else, or you know, there's still a little bit of livestock. We had like grassland, and the grassland, they didn't use it, and they spoke with this farmer down here. They said, hey, you want to rent this area, then you can place your crops on it. You will still, you know, make money, so they don't charge too much, and these guys will get a little bit for the land. This guy will get a little bit by making it from the land, so it's a win-win situation for everyone. That's why this is like very small. I just filled this area up with a lot of bushes and stuff. Yeah, here I started to use RICO stuff again, so I got like 2 of these. Little house, a shed, whatever it's called, something in here, you know. It's just simple, but it does the job. I also got this asphalt road now going on down here. So, you know, like I said, when you come into this place, it's a good road. I want to keep it. I like it nice and traditional. And I'm going to keep this too here. This is fire station, a police station. And, you know, they can be called for either this little village or this growing village. So just in the middle, and yes, this place has also its own operation, but now I want to keep this down here, you know, to our town, also say village, whatever you want to call it. Right, so you know, I'm not sure, but I'll guess you guys wouldn't mind for too much if I change this area just a little bit later on, you know, just spread out the farmland once again, spread out these job factories down here. I'm going to put this into the city behind me. This will be gone. I'm gonna make some nicer connection, make some things a little bit more beautiful. There's, I really like this down here. But the first thing that will happen in the next episode, of course, is we're going to start working onto this city down here. We're going to give it a population boost. We're going to give it office boost. We're going to take care of the land values are going up. We're going to take care of a nice shore down here. I want to implement the cruise ship place somewhere around here. And yeah, if there are some districts that you would like to name, which I'm referring to our own town. I mean, I never gave it like a name. It's not called Bro Square. If you would like to name our town, let me know. Park Hills is something you can name, because I don't have a name for it. This down here you can name basically the area here. If you know a name for that, just let me know down below in the comment section. Alright, beautiful. This guy, just a little bit. I'm going to turn this one on. Emptying, very good. And let's do also this guy. Empty that out. You know what? I'm going to pause it for a second. And I'm going to add some RICO stuff, which I would like to have.